Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome. I am glad that you were here. I got started a few minutes late. I apologize. I've been working behind the scenes on stuff with getting things put together. I'm just trying to figure out simple fixes. I think I will start off by prefacing this and saying there's trigger warnings. There's mentions of grief, there's mentions of death. With that being said, don't hesitate to reach out if you need to. I know how hard it can be. I saw something that I wanted to show you all. Let me see if I can find it. To finish up our discussion from last night, if you were here and when we were mentioning tragedy pimps, I would love to show you all something. Give me 1 minute. We are going to go ahead and do it's only a short video, but I'll share it anyway, so you will go.
Girl, you can do me this one, solid. What? Would you rather I go out and rob some elderly person? Steal? Either way, I'm gonna get high. I really hate the resort to knock elderly people in the head for their money. But I do it. I do it. You know I do it. I'm a crackhead.
And that, my friends, was Justin Felonies. She is an amazing creator. Let me copy and paste the link in the chat. Go subscribe to her if you are not already subscribed. Her name is Duncan Felonies. Honestly, she's quite a supportive person. She does good content. While we are on that topic, let's get started. If I can figure this out. And I will share all of our beautiful information for tonight. Let me see. We are going to look at this. There we go. This is a presentation on autism and also our grief. Let's get started. Autism and grief. What is autism? Hang on 1 second. There we go. First things first, hello and welcome. I am so glad you've joined me for a lovely stream. Let's get started. But first things first, what is autism? Your title says autism, but what truly is it? Hello, I am so glad you asked. Let me explain. According to the CDC, autism is a developmental disability caused by differences in the brain. People with autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, often have problems with social communication and interaction, which basically means that people who have autism can't communicate the way others can, and they can't interact in a way that is quote unquote socially normed for the neurotypical world. We also have restricted or repetitive behaviors or interests. Let me clarify that. Repetitive behaviors in the autism world are normally referred to as stimming. Stimming is a self-soothing, self-regulatory behavior that people who have autism do to keep their emotions in check. And interests are viewed as a special interest by somebody who has autism. It can be something they are hyper-focused on. Hyper-focused does not mean they are super energetic. It rather means that they have such an intense focus on it. People with autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, may also have different ways of learning, moving, or paying attention. We are more visual learners. We understand when you show us things, not just say. Everyone needs to move, but people who have autism do it more because they have a lot of energy. Autism is a gift, and people who have autism have learned to navigate a world that they exist in because others who are neurotypical could not adapt to the world. They would not be able to, that is why we do it ourselves. Grief and autism. How someone with autism navigates a complicated situation. First of all, what in the world is grief? Grief is a reaction to the loss of someone or something with which we have a bond. Unless someone's grief reactions are harmful to themselves or others, there is no right or wrong way to grieve. That is so true, and I wish that a lot of people had known how true it is, because honestly, it's very touching. I mean, it doesn't just have to be because someone passed away. Grief isn't just because someone passed away. Simply losing your job, if you have a job, or a close friend who you were really close to. For someone who has autism, will cause these same reactions to occur, the same reactions as if they were grieving. Autismandgrief.org is a website I found today that really goes into detail. There's a video that you can check out that's at this link right here, and I will hopefully do this correctly. I will post it in live chat for anybody who wants. Back to what we were doing. With grief comes fear. So, with the heavy topic of grief also comes that fear of dying. Autistic people have a fear of dying because it is something that they cannot control. If you cannot control something, it naturally creates a feeling of anxiety. People who are autistic, who already don't understand the world that they are in, are more likely to feel that grief and fear. There is no time period. There is no knowing when the grieving process will stop for anyone, but especially for those of us who are neurodiverse, which simply means you have a disability. It doesn't have to ever stop, and I personally don't believe that it does. It just gets easier the more you learn. 1 second. You're going to watch a new video.
gotta say, missing you comes in waves.
So that was the video that I wanted to show you all. Now we are going to go back to this. We are going to do this. While we are doing this, I'm going to pull up one other one that I believe we watched last night, but we are going to watch it again because I believe that it is very touching. So give me 1 second. Not what I meant to do. I'm going to watch this video. There we go.
Seems like a dream. How could this be? I walk alone, but sometimes I picture your hands held in my own. My brave face is too late now. If you could see me now, would you be pleased and proud? I'm doing fine. Sometimes I cry when I see your face. Are there windows in heaven to see me now? Through all the sky and clouds, living my life with a heart full of pride. When I see your face, are there windows in heaven? You didn't live, but you left behind more than you know, more than I see. Still can't let go. Your image, I can't say goodbye. Here from below, my brave face is too late now. If you could see me now, would you be pleased and proud? I'm doing fine. Sometimes I cry when I see your face. Are there windows in heaven to see me now? Through all the sky and clouds, living my life with a heart full of pride. When I see your face, take me back to the time. Together we'd sing out, together we'd live out all of the rest of our lives. For just one more minute, I can't get you in it. One moment of feeling lost time. Face, it's too late now. If you could see me now, would you be pleased and proud? I'm doing fine, but sometimes I cry when I see your face. Are there windows in heaven to see me now? Through all the sky and clouds, living my life with a heart full of pride. When I see your face, are there windows in heaven to see through all the sky and clouds? Living my life with a heart full of pride. When I see your face, are there windows in heaven?
Okay. So that video, let me post a link to her channel again. Even though she is featured on my page, we'll give her justice and post her link. She is an awesome creator. She just explained everything that I tried to explain in the span of 4 minutes. But we're still gonna stick with this. Sorry, I am trying to figure out one thing real quick. Okay, back to our presentation. Do it. Okay. What can you do to help? Many things can be done to help, but I will start simple. One of the first things anyone can do when someone with autism is grieving is to let them stim, or in other words, self-regulate. Remind them that it is okay to stim as long as it is not harmful. Stimming is how they cope, and it should not be limited. Stimming is never a bad thing to do and should never be discouraged, especially during times of emotional dysregulation. What looks to one like it is not helping, like it will not help you, may be the thing that helps the person who has autism, who has all these emotions that they cannot process, be able to process at least one of them. Meltdowns will happen. It is okay. The person having the meltdown does not mean for it to happen. Please, please do not blame them for being the cause of the meltdown. They already feel ashamed as it is. If they want to sleep or rest after a meltdown, let them. Chances are they are missing out on sleep since most people with autism already do not sleep enough without grief in their lives. Remind them to eat, to shower. Remind them that you are there for them. A shoulder to cry on, an ear to listen. Whatever you can offer, offer it. It helps a lot, even if they do not have the words like you and I do. Do say thank you. Some may not. Please do not get offended. It is not done on purpose. Whoa, what just happened? Okay. Perfect. Make sure. Um, I apologize. I'm getting the things once right now. Second. Back what you were doing. We finished this slide. Communication, while in this state, is hard for anyone, except people with autism and their communication abilities, whatever they may be at that time. Do not let communication differences be the reason you do not check on someone who is struggling. That is powerful. Do not let the fact that a person with autism cannot express how they feel to be the reason that you don't check on them. You don't even have to communicate with them for hours. Sometimes simply knowing someone is there is more than enough, especially for people who get overwhelmed easily or who have not had this communication. Someone who has autism may communicate verbally. Give me 1 second. May communicate verbally. Using their voice, which is how I am communicating at the moment, through ASL, which is American Sign Language, pen and paper, emojis, echolalia, which is the use of repeated words from movies or similar prior situations, which in the neurodiverse community we referred to as scripts, or through an AAC website or app, which is basically a communication tool that communicates through pictures and voices the words that somebody does not have the words to say, which therefore the website and app is speaking for those who cannot speak. Communication is communication, and I will be a voice for those who don't have one that people will listen to, because all voices are valid. Thank you for asking. What can I do to help others like you? Simply be there for them. Listen. So you're asking what should you say? It depends on the situation and what is occurring, honestly. Sometimes simply being there is more than enough. What if I apologize, guys. I'm battling a cold. What if simply being there is not enough? Trust me, it is. Even if the person does not want anyone directly by them at the moment, it helps knowing you are there. Grief equals meltdowns or sensory overload. Meltdowns, they happen and they will happen while someone is going through the delicate process of grieving. The person having them is already going to feel ashamed that one has occurred. Please don't criticize them for having one. Something that may help with meltdowns is letting them know that you are there and also seeing what self-soothing tools they have, aka stimming. Blankets and low sensory activities work really well when one is overwhelmed. But sometimes the texture of a blanket can be way too stimulating within itself, so please double check with the person who is currently experiencing this to make sure that it would help and not make it worse. Sensory overloads may also occur due to everything going on. It is okay if it happens. I personally use a weighted blanket during sensory overload, but you may find something that works better, as sometimes the pressure from the weighted blanket is too much for one person to experience. Don't mind me. 1 second. Autism is a spectrum different from the one you claim to know. It's okay to be different. What is a spectrum? If you ask a neurotypical person who's had no contact with anyone who has autism what a spectrum is, they will probably say a spectrum of color. But if you ask someone who has been in contact with someone who has autism, they will say it is more than that. They are right. It is so much more than that. As for me, I try not to use the word spectrum, as most assume quite negative things about it. But for those curious, I will go into detail. Imagine the spectrum scale on the previous clip. Now take a piece of paper and cover some of it. That's how autism is. We aren't all the full spectrum. Some may be more yellow than others, but we are all held together. Please don't assume that a non-speaking autistic who doesn't react to your presence in the room is unaware of what you are saying. Trust me, they hear you. Don't assume that someone is not really autistic just because they can make eye contact with you and can chat about the weather. It might just be that the weather is their special interest. Don't assume that a fluently talkative autistic person is capable of processing what you have just said to them. People do that with me all the time because I can have a full-on conversation. But there are days where people can say simple things and I will have no clue what they say. And that's like, please don't assume anything about an autistic person. And I will post the link that we copied this from. And I will post it into the live chat for everyone. There we go. Stop with the labels. Autism and the functions one has are not labels. If someone who has autism can speak and interact, does that make them high functioning? If a child with autism who has a special interest and will only go places with that special interest, are they considered low functioning? Take a deep breath and think long and hard about that answer. Because my answer is no. They absolutely are not. You see, anyone can place a label on anything they want, but the harsh truth is autism is not a sickness. We don't need labels. We need support and people who see us for all we are, not what the label says we should be or says that we are. Someone may label someone with autism who has anxiety as low functioning, but that isn't right. Just because someone has another thing on top of their autism doesn't mean that they are low functioning. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, guys. It just means that they have another condition which may also need some support. It doesn't make them any more or less autistic than they were before when they received the diagnosis. We condition autistic children, as well as adults, to seek and accept guidance from anyone not autistic, aka anyone who is neurotypical. Then they internalize that they don't understand anything, and that neurotypicals must, which sets them up to be vulnerable. Being vulnerable is hard and people will take advantage of it, so please be careful. My dream from last night goes into more detail. As adults, it is our responsibility to understand autism beyond the black and white. Oversimplified mild and severe false binary, and to explore all the complex ways neurology and biology impact observable behaviors. Which is why I am here, to be a voice for those who do not have a voice. Or for those who have a voice that is not the conventional way one may see a voice. I'm going to post another link to an awesome site for everyone to check out. Here we go. I will be right back, everyone. Okay. Let's continue. Conversely, those who have fluent speech or have their support needs ignored, a truth that leads to unemployment along with homelessness, addiction. If they are mild, they must not have real needs. I cannot tell you how many people have come to me telling me I am not in recovery simply because I have autism. Just because someone has autism and can speak does not make them any more or less human than someone who does not have autism. We ought to use that link. Autism and healing. If somebody who is in recovery who has autism comes to you, don't turn them away. They deserve the support just as much as you would if you were in their shoes. Please, I won't ask much of my followers, but I will ask and say that if you are here to addict shame, I won't stand for it. It's not the person's fault that they are an addict. They did not ask for it. Please don't turn them away. The water treatment is not made with autistic people in mind. It is time we show them that we are here. I'm going to copy this link. If you are interested, and I will post it. We are going to watch one other video if I can find. Give it a second to load. There we go.
The time to make this video in hopes that anybody who likes to bash addicts on a daily basis, or even once in a while, will take the time, hopefully, to watch this. It is sad to see this going on as often as it does. Bashing an addict is not going to help them. Making fun of someone who is a recovering addict is not going to help them. Part of the problem is people who like to be this way towards addicts. It needs to stop. So I ask anybody that has ever bashed or anything like that towards an addict, please take the time to watch this and educate yourself. You're not helping them, you're only making the issue worse.
Skies are crying, I'm watching, catching teardrops in my hands. Only silence.
That was an amazing video. And I'm going to go ahead and paste this link and change what I am showing you. The case I was going to cover a case on an Amber Alert that had went out about a missing child in Florida who had autism. Sadly, his body was found in a body of water not far from his home. Chances are that this child had a special interest with water and got lost, ending up in the body of water. My prayers are with the family and law enforcement as they grieve the loss of this little boy. I'm going to keep the link private, but that is the end. And honestly, I hope that it was helpful because I don't know, it was something it needed to be said, and I'm glad that I got to say it. So I hope everyone has an amazing night, and I'll see you all later.